Welcome again to Reflections on the Community and its Cultures. This time around, goings-on at the library and goings-on at City Hall. Later, Independent City Manager Mickey Webb and City Commissioner Mott will talk about city concerns. First up, Independence Library Event Coordinator Christina Smith and Teen Library Clerk Allison Merritt will discuss some grant-related health-type programs, some summer offerings at the library, and a major award that our library has just won. All that's coming up on Reflections. Reflections continues now as we welcome a couple of folks involved in city government in Independence, pretty deeply involved as a matter of fact. Mickey Webb in the jacket there is our city manager, and you've been with us before. We appreciate you being with us again. Mott is here. He is a member of the City Commission, and they're going to talk about, well, a variety of things that go on in Independence, Kansas, including, watch the language now, including a tax vote coming up, which is kind of one of the big events coming up in Independence, correct?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what is coming. This is a sales tax sort of re-upping sort of thing to accomplish quite a few good things, I should imagine.
It is. We have several things ahead of the city right now. We have some ADA compliance issues, very important to the community and to the people of the community. Mm-hmm. We have some money that needs to be spent on buildings and facilities. We obviously have some streets that need to be repaired.
Always.
And you know, we have several ways to pay for that, and unfortunately, or whichever way you want to look at it, now's the time that we have to do these things, mm-hmm. and we have to figure out how to pay for it, and that's what we're looking at.
Okay. And Mickey Webb, tell us a little bit about what we will be looking, what you're asking for the folks in Independence.
Well, let me first say that right now our sales tax is 1 penny, which is a general fund for the city. Mm-hmm. 1 penny would help support the school projects, and 6.3 cents for the state. And then there's a quarter penny that was passed a few years ago, which was for wastewater improvements, wastewater treatment plant improvements, and also quality of life. That quarter penny will be expiring in October. And this vote is so that hopefully we can get this passed. It'll go on at the same time, which will mean that it will just be a 75 hundredths of a penny, 0.75% increase over what is currently in place. It'll be this 1 penny that we'll be voting on will be for a 10-year program. Okay,
and you have a chart there that sort of outlines some of the very stuff you were talking about then.
Yes.
Again, the sales tax vote, April 3.
April 3rd.
Is when that happens. And this is kind of how things break down there?
Yeah, a quarter penny will be for those ADA improvements mm-hmm. that we've been talking about. That, you know, is really mandated by the Department of Justice and
Compliance. Yeah, we'll come back and let you sort of describe what we're looking at there too. But this is just sort of the breakdown.
Another quarter penny will be for the streets. We haven't had any street program since 2006 with the cutbacks and funding. And streets are one of those things that if you cut back $1 today, you'll pay more later.
Big time.
Another quarter will be for building facility improvements, including the park and zoo. And the other quarter will be for helping the mill levy, which we'll talk about later, keeping it low. It will allow us to go up in cost with the cost of things and still keep the property tax as far as the city's concerned low.
Yeah, the property taxes, we mentioned that tax itself is a questionable word with a lot of people. Property tax multiplies that by about 3, doesn't it? People really don't like to hear about property tax.
Yeah,
yeah, property tax is a bad word, and you know, it's higher than we'd like for it to be, and basically these items that need to be repaired, we really have 2 ways to pay for it, and one being the sales tax, and if we're not able to get that passed, then we're going to be forced to look at property tax increase.
Mm-hmm, indeed. This, what is a comparison?
Yes, this shows the area sales tax rate, and it's got both our current rate and proposed rate in relation to the other rates in the area. For example, Coffeyville and Neodesha are both already at 9.3.
Which is where we'll wind up.
Where we'll
yeah,
wind
okay.
up if it's approved.
Okay. And again, higher in quite a few other places there as we look at.
Yes.
This chart here now.
This chart shows how the city has done in relation to the other taxing entities and to the municipal cost index. The municipal cost index is an index that was developed by American City County Magazine, and it began in 1978, showing how the cost of municipal products and services have gone up over the years. And this light blue line right here shows from the base that we started in 2000 and how it's gone up. The red is for Montgomery County, the blue is ICC, and the purple is the school district, and then this bottom flat green line is the property tax that and the amount of money that the city's received from the property tax. The municipal cost index has gone up about 41% since 2000, but the city has only got up 20%, 21.3%. Okay. So we've actually, our expenditures on a after inflation basis have actually only gone up half of the national average.
If this, when this, let's do it that way, when this sales tax vote goes the way you're asking the community for it to go, will that be then, that will be the new rate and it doesn't have a
yes.
cutoff on it?
No, that will be the new rate for 10 years. It's only a 10-year tax.
Okay. Let's go back now and look at some of the things that you mentioned that this will go toward helping out. I know there's been quite a lot of conversation recently about the ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act, improvements that many of which are specifically mandated and others are, this would be a real good idea to do type mandated sort of stuff. What big things would this go toward?
Well, we have approximately 850 curb cuts where we have to cut the curb and do ramps on sidewalks. You can imagine what that costs per unit. At a
850 more that need to be
done. We have some that look great now, but they have the wrong slope to them. So there's things like that. I don't think the city has a facility that doesn't need something, a building, entryways, doors, ramps. Yeah. And it's not that we haven't tried to do those kind of things, and anytime we've improved things, we've tried. But
I'm an ugly old man in a wheelchair, and so but I'm not very, I don't go on crusades about this kind of thing. And I think what keeps coming to my mind is that most of the things that need to be done for ugly old men in wheelchairs like myself, the benefit goes way beyond me. You know, almost everyone in Independence is getting a little older every day, and you get a little older every day, and they get a little steeper every day.
Absolutely.
And so this is not just for the few of us who are lucky enough to be in wheelchairs. This is for the community.
This is for people that with a sore knee that has trouble getting up and down a curb. When you look around town, and I'm sure people will, one spot is on Penn Avenue, kind of across from Woods Lumber Company. We have steps there because the sidewalks are so steep. Well, you can imagine what that's going to take. We're going to have to do some cutbacks, and I mean it's going to have to be at a certain degree of slope.
Right.
Those are the things that are going to cost the city a lot of money.
And that's something else that a lot of folks don't realize, that ramps, you know, it's easy to say, oh, we'll put in a ramp, but you have to put in a serious ramp. It has to be what it's like, a foot of ramp for each 1 inch of
I think
rise.
It's a 5% grade is the maximum. Another big item is going to be Riverside Park, where we have to have access to every swing, every slide. And it's fantastic that we have to do that. We we're glad that we have to. The problem is we have to pay for it.
Well,
and we're just trying to figure out how to do that.
There is that little
Well,
problem.
we'll also be planning, in talking to some specialists in that area, we'll be planning a lot of family rooms. And rather than just doing a bathroom, when you can add a family
I've just
bathroom.
come across that term recently, and
It
sort of,
be
yeah,
good
just
for
kind of tell
everybody.
us what that means.
Well, it'll be where, you know, a man with a child can go in and take care of the child, or you know, whole families can go in when they need to. A mother with 3 or 4 or 5 kids can go in and take care of them and watch them. And I think that would be a benefit to everybody. And of course, as far as disabled public, everyone either is or has relatives or family. And as a lady that's working with us said today, this week, she said, you know, all the rest of you are just tabs, temporarily able-bodied
Yeah, I've seen that term.
individuals.
Yeah, and that's something, again, that people kind of need to keep in mind, that doggone near every one of the adjustments that you make for the disabled, the handicapped, whatever you want to call us troublemakers, serves the other folks too. You know,
Right.
And sometimes that service is pretty serious. You mentioned street improvements. The note here says including West Main. Really?
Yes. The street improvements, we haven't had any major work. Now, we've done a project or two on a yearly basis, but really we haven't effectively maintained the infrastructure since 2006. This will allow us to do that. You know, if we were to go today and spend it all on West Main, it would probably take the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
However, by doing it again with the
There are
sales
gremlins
tax,
out there.
we plan on leveraging that money. We've been given some good encouragement on some grant funds that if we have the matching funds, we'll be able to get. And we feel very encouraged that that we'll be able not only to do West Main, but do some effective maintenance on the other roadways.
And when we look at this chart that Mickey has up here with the green flat line, what has happened is the commission over the last 8 years has kept the mill rate about the same and told the city staff to reduce their budget, so we didn't increase property tax. Well, when you do that, then services have to be cut and projects have to be cut, and we've got to the point where we've cut them so much that things have to be done.
It's a proud community, and part of that pride is doing the work to keep stuff up. I mean, it's like pride in a home.
Exactly.
You know, if all you have is pride, then your home's going to fall apart.
That's true.
So we need to get to work on this. So the sales tax, this 0.75% increase, I think is the proper way to put it.
Yeah, they'll be voting on a penny.
Yeah.
But since 1 quarter is going off, it'll only be an increase of 3 quarters.
Right. And that takes place on April 3. And good luck. This is a hard thing to get across.
It is.
You need to keep that message as positive as possible. And we thank you for taking the time to
one other thing,
do
if I
that
might.
with us. Real quick.
The 1 quarter that's for debt and keep the mill levy low, that will help us keep this a flat line.
Right, which again is a real concern of a whole bunch of folks. And gentlemen, Mickey Webb, City Manager, Rick Mott, Member of the Commission, thanks for spending some time with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being with us on this edition of Reflections. Now, here's it.